I'm Anna.
I'm Ben.
For AutoSave, welcome to our channel.
Today we're watching Monogatari Second Season, Episode 7. Last episode, we met kind of a character that I don't know anything about, Ougi Oshino, 15 years old. That was it. We had a great talk with Ononoki. That was great. I don't know what's going to happen with Hachikuji. We are in the past now. What's going to happen with the future of Hachikuji or the past of Hachikuji? What could change?
I'm going to go into this episode and the possibly seeing of the death of Hachikuji with repeating kind of the phrases, questions, ideas that Ononoki was posing for us. The idea of like, was there significance to her death? Is there meaning to her still being here now? And the thought that maybe Araragi could be the one to answer those questions for her. That's what I'm going to go into this with. Do you save someone if you're able to? If this is a scenario where Araragi is 5 minutes early to Hachikuji's death and he knows that it's coming, is this a moment in time where we would see that he would stop it? And what does that mean for the grown-up version of Hachikuji that we saw in last episode?
That's so fair. I had a dream after we watched last episode that for some reason, because of time travel shenanigans, Shinobu had like the ability to be in her previous vampire state because of time travel.
Because we went back in time.
But that's not how things work. We'll see what happens. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Sweet.
11 years earlier.
Any chance we're gonna see a baby Araragi? Ugh.
13th of May.
お前ちゃんと帰れるんだろうな。
I'm sure.
もちろんじゃ。
The confidence.
What if the donut place doesn't exist in the
順
past?
を追って説明すると、
Alright.
北白蛇神社。そもそも吹き溜まりとしてのあの場に、そのエネルギーが集まっておった原因は、わしがこの町に来たがゆえじゃ。
ああ。しかし、
So it was kind of yours to
忍がこ
use.
の町に来るのは11年後の話であって。え？じゃあ無理じゃん。帰れないじゃん。
そう、結論を急ぐな。ならばわしの内的エネルギーを使えば良いだけの話だよ。お前様がわしにある程度血を飲ませてくれればよい。そうすればわしは自力でゲートを開けることができるから。
Easy.
じゃあせっかくなんだし、一日
Cool shot.
遊んでから元の時代に帰るって感じにするか。
お前様が良いならそれで良い。
Where are you gonna sleep? Cram school? Baby Araragi! Not baby, but.
うわ、超かわいい。襲ってハグしてきても良いかな。
お前はさっさと逮捕されろ。
Even more troublesome little girl.
It's kind of crazy to think about. Everybody would look different in this timeline except Hachikuji. She would look exactly the
Right?
same.
Let's have young Araragi meet Hachikuji.
Wow. What if young Araragi ends up being the one to save Hachikuji?
Then we would avoid some time paradoxes, right? Just kind of lead him there somehow. But we still have to beware. I think if she lives the apocalypse, you know what I mean? We gotta be wary of that.
Do you think that big snail crashing into something is representative of the car that crashed into Hachikuji's body?
I mean, I think that's okay.
She almost finds comfort in seeing the Araragi hair squiggle.
Even though she was dead, Araragi did a lot for her.
ハチクジを助けよう。
は？なんじゃ、なんか言ったかの、お前様。
だからハチクジを助けようって。
Stop.
考えてたんだよ。なんで11
Love the
年前なの
billboard.
かってピンポイントで飛ぶ理由は
Oh, listen to the
何かあったんじ
theme.
ゃないかって。
理由？
明日がハチクジの命日なんだよ。
あの迷子っ子の命日。
先に言っておくが確信
Why
は
do I feel like I'm
I
gonna
know.
cry this
10
episode?
年と少し前としか言ってなかった。だけど一つ確かなことは明日が母の日だってことなんだ。
Oh,
母の日。
Mother's Day.
離れ離れになって暮らしていたお母さんの家を訪ねる途中でだ。
そういう話じゃったの、確か。だから
助けよう。いろいろ考えはしたんだ。せっかく過去の世界に来たんだから何かできることはないかなって。僕がまず考えたのは戦場ヶ原のことなんだ。僕の彼女のために何かできることはないかなって。ひょっとして11年前という時点からなら
That's so
戦場
fair.
ヶ原の抱えていた悩みを解決することができるんじゃないかって。
いや、そうではないのか。カニではなく、あくまでも家庭の。
そう、家庭の問題。母
You
親が
probably wouldn't end
悪
up in
徳
a
宗教にハマって
relationship.
しまうとか、競技離婚とか。
一人の人間の運命を、いや、多くの人
Many a
間の
person.
運命を変えてしまうことになるのじゃから。
同じように羽川の家庭の事情を何とかできるとも思えない。羽川家の問題には手を出すことができなくもないかもしれない。
Oh, the cat.
Mhm.
それは絶対に無理だと思う。羽川家が抱える病巣は一高校生や一吸血鬼にどうこうできるレベルを超えている。
To even think that you could do something about it
サル女
is
や
maybe
ら
a
前
little
髪娘
arrogant.
やらをどうこうすることもお前様には不可能じゃろう。そこはあの憎きアロハ小僧の言う通りなのじゃよ。
人は一人で勝手に助かるだけ。
Oh.
誰かが誰かを助けることなどできない。
いや、だってあいつが被害に遭った交通事故っていうのは偶発的なもんだろ。家庭の事情とかそういうのとは違って、一瞬の偶然さえ回避
It's
すれ
not
ば
as deeply
それ
rooted.
で避けうるもんじゃねえか。
One incidental moment.
例えば明日お前様があの迷子っ子が受けるであろう被害を防いだとしよう。その場合はその事故が起こるの
Really?
その翌日だか翌々日だかに
Ooh,
先
like
送り
that
さ
in
れるだけじゃ
itself, that
け
she
ん。
is supposed to die
But
is
you-
destiny.
But she wouldn't be going the same
お
way.
前様のやろうとしていることはただの先延ばし。
Stopgap
ただ
measure.
の後回しじゃ。
いいんだよ、それは。死ぬのが明日でさえなければ、
Oh.
明日でさえなければ、八九時は怪異になったりしないだろう。あの子はどうあれ満たされて死にはしても
Oh,
迷うことはなかったはず
Aragi.
なんだ。
面白い。正直試してみる価値はあると思う。いや、成功を保証するというわけではない。むしろ普通に失敗すると思う。
But we should try.
じゃが試してみる価値はあるのかもし。わしがそうであるように、怪異とは運命の枠から外れた
Outside
存
of
在じゃから
Destiny's
な。
framework.
あくまでも怪異化だけならば避けられるかもしれん。
助けられる。僕はあの子を、僕たちがここにいる理由、ここに来た理由、それは八九時を助けてやるためだったんだよ。そこが目的地で交通事故に遭ったのもそのあたりのはずなのだ。交通事故を防げばいいだけだなんていかにも手軽そうに言ったけれど、こうして現実に即して考えて
You don't know which light it was at.
タイミングよく僕と忍は正面からの人影に気づく。いや、あまりいいタイミングだったとは言い難い。
Hanekawa?
最悪のタイミングだったとも言える。6歳くらいの幼少、本を読みながら歩いていて、メガネで後ろ一本の三つ編み、見るからに真面目そうで、もうなんか超絶な少女だった。で、羽川翼じゃー
No, Shinobu.
何ですかあなたは。どうして私の名前を知っているんです。答えていただかなくても見ればわかります。変質者ですね。
スルベタ羽川最高。
What the fuck?
I hope this is all a
お前様
dream
冷
sequence.
静になれよ。ここで逮捕されたら明日までに釈放される。
Literally.
不可能じゃぞ。
Prioritize. Restraint.
何こ
Look at his, what is his hair?
血の涙を流してるよ。
ちょっと道を教えてほしいんだけど、この辺りでツナレさんって家知ってる？ありがとう。君は何でも知ってるんだね。
何でもは知りません。知ってることだけ。
She's running so fast.
騙された。
She sent him to the police. I love her.
This is your own fucking fault, Aragi.
とね、可愛い子だったんだけど、なかなか会いに来られないらしくて。ところで君はツナデさんの何？
友達です。マヨイちゃんの友達。
You look a little old.
I look like a snail.
迷い牛に迷わないということは、道に迷わないということは、
お前様は11年後、あの娘と会えなくなるということじゃぞ。
もちろんそんなことは分かっていた。張り込みをするにあたって忍には中学生の姿になってもらう。
Aww.
So
中学生
cute.
くらいまで成長すれば綺麗で、どこか
We
力
gave her
のない
glasses
大きさが
too.
にじみ出るので、声をかけづらくなるかもしれないと考えたのだ。
To want to meet her when she's alive.
出てこねえじゃねえか。どんだけ気を持たせるんだあいつは。
お前様は張り込みには向いておらんの。まだ
We even did the braid like Hanakawa.
ちょっと君たち、うちの娘を見ませんでした？小学校5年生の女の子で髪を2つに
Was she not home the night
大き
before?
なリュックサックを背負っていたと思うんですけれど、
When did she set out?
私の娘なんですが、家出をしたらしくてなかなか起きてこないと思って部屋を覗いてみたら書き置きがしてあって、文面から察するにどうやら朝5時くらいに家
Oh
を出
shit.
たようなんです。
どこまでなんだあいつは。
Whoa.
チキショー、どんなに怪しまれようと
I didn't think
あの連中に
she had a wig too.
というよりこれも運命の強制力というやつかもしれんの。
The force of destiny at play.
あの娘はどうしても車にひかれて死ななければならぬのかもしれん。
何が運命だ。そんな運命認めるかよ。くそー。
Oh, oh!
お前様。
Emergency brake. Beautiful.
忍ぶ
Elegant.
こっちだ。
As his outfit's torn to shreds, he still offers his hand.
どうして朝5
Deja
時に
vu.
出発したというあの小娘が未だこの公園で
Because
くすぶ
she's
って
the
おるのじゃ。
lost cow. She's awful with directions.
道に迷ってるんだろう。僕があいつをツナレさんの家にまで案内してやるつもりなのさ。
接触を持つ気か。
仕方ないだろう。事故に遭う確率が跳ね上がってしまうんだから。
Araki.
Are we just gonna have like a complete replay of our first interaction?
しまった。チキショー。
You're gonna be the reason that she dies, Araki!
What if that really is what it is?
今のは自業自得としか。
Holy shit.
大丈夫かお前様。
わかってる。
大丈夫ですか。
お前こそ大丈夫か。
ごめんなさい。なんだか変な人に変態的に追われて焦って
Yeah,
たんです。
that did happen.
It wasn't me!
変態か。許せないな。まあ、世の中変な奴はいっぱいいるから気をつけなければいけないな。
That's what I tell myself every day when I leave
幸
the
い僕の
house.
ようなマットを絵に描いたような男が今さっき唐突に現れて通りすがったからよかったようなものの。
はい、そうですね。それにちょっと今私ありがとうございました。
Wow.
まあ、じゃあ。
Do you think she goes in?
さて、やることはやったし、忍ぶ。
But I would want to wait until she left her mom's
もういいの
house.
か。
I mean, you don't have to worry about it, right? She wouldn't become
つまり
an oddity.
大間が時か。僕が驚いたのは北白蛇神社のそのありようだった。少なくとも今の姿よりはいくらか原型を保っているとばかり思っていたのだけれど、何から何まで全てがボロボロだった。
Wow.
どういうこと？おいおい勘弁してくれよ。過去に来ていたと思ったけれど、実は間違って未来に来ていた的なオチじゃねえだろうな。忍ぶ、いいぜ。僕の血をもうちょっと吸ってギリギリまでパワーアップしとけよ。
いや、お前様、これはついておる。
There's already energy
ど
here?
うやらその必要はなさそうじゃ。
Well, we don't know what it was like 11 years
この
ago.
時代もまた霊的エネルギーに満ち溢れておる。11年後にわしが来たことで、ここが怪異の吹き溜まりになったのは確かじゃが、それ以前からどうもここはたまりやすい。
Even before that,
ほー
she wasn't the
わし的
catalyst.
な何者かが来たということかもしれん。
Oh.
まあ、使い切ってしまって問題あるまい。
リスクって何かあったか？
わしがお前様を裏切るというリスクじゃ。力を失っておる今じゃからこそ、わしはお前様と仲良うやっておるが、力を取り戻せば取り戻すほど、わしは怪異としての本分を取り戻していくじゃろうからの。さて、ゲートを作るにはやっぱり鳥居を使うかの。
呪文の詠唱はどうした？
あ、忘れた。
おい、
It wasn't necessary.
呪文の文章を忘れたのではない。お前様。
ああ、一応確認し
Interesting
て
that
る
her
けどさ、
bracelet's
この
opaque.
先やっぱり飛び込んだら階段になってんだよな。
行くべき時代をイメージすることが大切じゃからな。 後ろ向きで飛び込んだりしたら時空の狭間で永遠にさまようことになるかもしれん。
僕と忍は結局来た時と同じように黒い壁の中に普通に飛び込んで懐かしき現代へと帰ったのだった。
Okay.
その先に何が待ち構えているか知る由もなく
Give us
僕
something,
がハチクジを
please.
助けたことで未来の世界
Oh
が
no!
どのように変わったのかを想像することさえなくというか、まあ結論から先に言って僕と忍が時間旅行から11年後の世界に帰ってみれば世界が滅んでいた。
The world in ruins. Didn't you say last episode when we were looking at what looked like adult Hachikuji that it looked like a fucking battered wasteland?
And like actually earlier on in the episode there seems to be a scene where Shinobu and Araragi are getting like surrounded by a bunch of like shadow figures.
Oh no. Does that mean inevitably we're gonna have to go back again and kill Hachikuji? To return the world to what it was?
We wouldn't have to kill her. We would just let her destiny happen.
Isn't that the same thing?
Kind of the same thing. We need her to be an oddity. We need her to be a lost cow.
Out of every character in the show, who is the most exciting prospect to think of in a dystopian wasteland future that is trying to survive for their own life, you know? The Fire Sisters would be in, like, full fucking military garb.
Right. They would lead their own, like, faction of neighborhood people that are survivors that leave the house to go look for rations. You know who didn't do his homework, and that was the whole point that we went through the gate to begin with?
Okay, that was Monogatari Second Season, Episode 7. You called it. Last episode. God damn it. Obviously, when you're messing with time travel, butterfly effect, whatever, like, things will change. They're destined to, if you will, but to what degree?
Mm-hmm.
The world is ending.
I feel like my question here is, what exactly is ruins? The world is in ruins. What type of issue are we talking about in terms of, like, is this becoming a sci-fi story like alien invasion? Is this a zombie apocalypse?
This is like Monogatari Zero, you know?
Yeah, like, what is the ruins that the world falls into? Is, you know, is there a war?
Yeah.
Is it something that's more supernatural? Is it something more somehow human constructed that Hachikuji life and death had an effect on?
Yep. It could be it could be anything, right? It could be the furthest thing away from Hachikuji that is just subtly changed and affected, or it could be Hachikuji herself. It could be her mother, what her mother does with her life, the person who hit Hachikuji, the driver, their life being changed, and that could be significant in some way that affects the future of this world. We have no idea.
Like when you were starting to list like other people that it could have been the reason, the catalyst for whatever the ruins is, other than Hachikuji, the people adjacent to Hachikuji and even adjacent to her death, the driver. If we were just prolonging like the inevitable, like, oh well, she could still get hit by a car 2 days from now, maybe what it is this guy that was driving, no matter what, within that day or the next following days, was gonna hit someone. And whoever they hit was, like, I don't know, important to science or a diplomat or something, and a world war starts because of this death. And
I think I've cracked the code. I got it. Imagine an apocalypse within the world of Monogatari. There's only one scenario that I could see an apocalypse coming to fruition, and that is a world that Araragi doesn't get to be friends with Hanekawa. And why would Hanekawa ever want to be friends with somebody who reminded them of a high school pervert who creeped on them? Maybe it has nothing to do with Hachikuji. Maybe that we've affected Hanekawa's internal feelings about Araragi and her future.
Yeah, but that could be a good thing. maybe not falling in love with Araragi could have been something possibly good for Hanekawa.
Man.
So another thing I could bring up for the argument of, like, what about the past could inevitably become ruins someday in the future. We had some really, like, ominous language upon before kind of jumping back into the gate to go back to present day, where we walk and we're like, oh, there's a presence here, there's power, there's energy. we aren't needing Shinobu to kind of pull it out of herself. We're able to use it from the shrine, from the Polar Snake Shrine. And Shinobu has language that I read kind of as ominous, like, oh, 11 years ago, this was still a gathering place for oddities, like someone like me was here.
Yeah.
And what if, because we saved Hachikuji, whoever that someone like Shinobu was, oddity-wise, decides to stay, decides
That's so fascinating.
to, you know,
you're so right.
I don't know how it would have affected, how Hachikuji surviving would affect something all the way at the shrine, but I guess it could have.
I mean, Hachikuji's oddity being born could have affected oddities around, you know?
Okay, that's a good point to bring up. The idea that oddities exist outside of Destiny, but what if it was always Destiny for a certain oddity to be born?
Yeah.
Is that a conversation point? If Lost Cow doesn't belong to Hachikuji because we save her, Lost Cow would then have to belong to someone else. And if there is an oddity that is continuously lost and leading other people to become lost, and it's not Hachikuji, then who is being led to be lost?
Interesting. Man, I really, really am loving Monogatari second season, even though we're only 7 episodes in. I don't want to like get ahead of myself because I feel like I've already said this twice or 3 times in 7 episodes, but there's an air about it that feels like new ground is being paved, similar to when we first got to watch Bakemonogatari, and I'm really enjoying it. I am gonna go back to something I brought up last episode's discussion. I still will not, I'm not shaking the feeling that Uigi or Ouija has some oddity presence or omnipotence to her. There's too much that she said last episode about there being consistent red stoplights and that could be turned into a scenario of rose-colored glasses that still fits into this reality that Araragi is making, because regardless of having Shinobu on both sides of Araragi's like idea here, playing devil's advocate but also saying that like, okay, let's do it, the idea of what they're trying to do ended in the world in ruins, and it just feels like Uigi was saying that was gonna happen.
I don't know where to go with her.
Yeah, I know. It's because it's a character we don't know, but it's the only thing we do know of that character kind of hinted that this was gonna happen without any straightforward context, you know?
Right. If anything, Ogi could give some sort of... She could be the oddity itself that was in that shrine to begin with.
Ooh.
She could be a little girl. She would... Obviously, we get all of them being shown at age, like, 6, like, as kids. What if she was a kid, and because
she would
Hachikuji...
be 4 right now.
Because Hachikuji didn't get hit by a car, she gets hit by a car, or she has something happen to her with an oddity because the accident with Hachikuji didn't happen. Why else, other than just introduction of theme, would we get a character like Ougi? Unless there was other relevance other than theme. I feel like all I can do is just theorize by literally just making shit up. Like, literally just headcanoning a bunch of random scenarios.
That's so fair.
I feel like there could definitely be more to her, and why does she have a sort of oddity, or is it not an oddity at all, and we have the idea of, like, human powers in itself, like psychic abilities, and she just is able to tell the future, and that's not an oddity at all, and it's just that she has psychic abilities? Enhanced human mind? I don't know.
It's just having her also share the last name Oshino is gonna drive me. I'm so excited to learn more about her. I loved in this episode Araragi coming like face forward and being like, my mind first went to Senjigahara. She's my girlfriend. Could I help her out in any way? And then going down the list of people and how he is thought about trying to help them and wanting to help them, because that's so in the nature of Araragi, but breaking down the reasons for why we couldn't.
Yeah, you're undoing 11 years of someone becoming the person that you know them to be, and I feel like this is a conversation topic that people could debate and argue and devil's advocate and talk about themselves and how they'd feel until they're blue in the face. About whether you'd go back and undo a traumatic event for yourself or something in the past or for your loved one.
I'm glad they didn't. They didn't do that. Mm-hmm. Instead, especially with Hanekawa, they chose to frame it in such a great way that, I'm going to paraphrase here, but against what tragedies and complexities lies within Hanekawa's family dynamic, what can a high schooler and a vampire do? Mm-hmm. And it's so interesting to phrase it like that, because a vampire, like, you're adding such a supernatural being to it, but what could you still do when it comes to that type of complexity?
Mm-hmm. And when we, like, Kanbaru, what happens to her, that's family lineage more past 11 years ago, probably. And then, obviously, I feel like for the same Hanekawa reason that you had just brought up, I feel like Senjugahara's exists on a similar plane of what really could you do that would actually have the effect that you desire, which is stopping whatever it is. Also, if you have the idea of destiny, if we're arguing so much about, well, are we not just moving on the inevitable and pushing it back 2 days of Hachikuji getting run over, and we're saying, oh, but that was an accident, so maybe it won't work like that. What is the destiny for Hanekawa and Senjugahara's characters? Was it the trauma that they went through? Were those things that no matter what, they were supposed to go through something similar? You don't know that when you're in that place. So are you just getting rid of one thing that's going to happen in their lives, and then you get back to the future and find out that maybe even something drastically different that would have a completely different outcome on them? Maybe that's something that you couldn't have even helped with.
Yeah.
Maybe even death, you know?
Man, I loved when we were talking about Senjugahara and the crab and all the color went devoid other than the red. It was so well done. I feel like just the blacks turned up like a ton and it looks phenomenal. It's like not just grayscale, you know? They fucked with it quite a bit and it looks beautiful. The harsh contrasts. It's so good. Okay, can I tell you a headcanon I have?
Okay.
Araragi met his mom. It was his mom who was in the police station because his parents are cops. That's what I believe happened.
I like the little look that, you know, the kind of like she was reading him. Like,
yeah.
Wait. But
Thoughts?
She's like, I like it because, one, this lady should not be just giving this information. And she's not suspicious, possibly, until the end of the interaction. And so if she was originally 11 years ago more of like a I believe in the good in people type person,
yeah,
like she's always gonna benefit of the doubt people, like, oh, you're friends with this person, whatever. She also knows what's going on in the neighborhood. I like it.
At first, like, she had so much personality, right? With like her pencils and her hat. I was like, oh, this kind of gives me a Zuko. And then I'm like, no. This, like, police station. There has to be something here. There's so much personality we're getting from this policewoman who's rather talkative, right? There's nothing to actually say that that's the case, but with how much intention Monogatari seems to put into things, I wouldn't be surprised if that was something. You know?
Mm-hmm. I like it. I like headcanoning that was his mom.
Yeah.
Because it totally could have been.
So, who are you most excited for to hopefully see in this world full of ruins?
I guess part of that also depends on what the ruins actually are. I feel like every character that exists in this world would be kick-ass if it was a zombie apocalypse. I 100% could see them all surviving together, like hunkering down in... Well, they can't hunker down in the cram school because it was burned down, but like hunkering down in like an abandoned school.
Maybe it wasn't burned down in this timeline,
oh, true.
You know?
Maybe it wasn't burned down. That interaction with Hanekawa in the street had more impact on the future than we ever could have perceived. But yeah, I could see all of them surviving pretty well. If it was a zombie apocalypse all together as a team, they would kick butt. What else? What other situations? I don't know why zombie apocalypse is the easiest place for my mind to go.
You don't like zombies.
Maybe it's because I hate zombies, but I hate them so much that's why I kind of like it.
Yeah, like that possibility?
Yeah.
Interesting. I think that obviously Senjugahara is the easy answer for me, but I can imagine Kambaru absolutely being the most brutal fucker in existence in an apocalyptic world.
I'm saying all of them I would love to see in a apocalyptic world.
Yeah.
Because they're the type of characters that I would want, if they were real people, I would want them with me if the world had gone to shit.
That's fair.
And I had to fight people off for, like, food, or there were, like, aliens.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're in a world so filled with oddities and things of that nature that I'm like, it has to be something like that and not, like, humans infected with a disease.
That's fair. I loved Shinobu dressing up in...
As Hanakawa, basically. It's like a Hanakawa cosplay.
In disguise. It was great. I also wanted to talk about the ending of the episode when Shinobu brought up if her powers started getting stronger and she became more closer to her natural form as a vampire, or closer to her true nature as an oddity would also arise from that, and that could be dangerous.
I feel like during that scene, I was coping a little bit because in my mind, I was like, no way, you wouldn't betray him. You know? Like, I feel like I was coping, like, but what she's bringing up is almost like a pure animal instinct type vibe. Like, even if in her mind right now, she wouldn't necessarily want to betray him, that doesn't mean that in her mind, in that form, she wouldn't be okay with it. And I feel like for her to say that, I have to take it as possibly true. You know, like, why else would she, like, kind of give a warning like that? Like, yeah, you can trust me like this and I'm being friendly like this, but if I had all of my powers, don't necessarily, like, fully trust me. Is
that alluding to something that might come? Like, are we going to get into a situation that we need to let her suck our blood to make her stronger, but we might have to face repercussions?
Something I feel like is probably a nothing burger is that we don't wake up right away when we jump through the gates to the past anyway. Shinobu hides the watch. We don't wake up right away. We wake up down the stairs. We get a shot of a bunch of scratches on her legs, which could be purely because, oh, we fell down the stairs because we jumped through the gate. But why is there a gap in time before he wakes up? Is that just regeneration? Who knows? We get the idea that there was an oddity possibly similar to her at that shrine in the past 11 years ago. Is it possible that she was doing something in that time that between Aragi jumping through the gate and waking up?
Interesting.
I have no clue, but honestly, I'm, like, super excited to see whatever Ruins is for the future.
You have anything else?
I think this is kind of something that we already kind of talked about. I think that I appreciate that the timing of how long it took in terms of, like, how much content of the episode was taken up by talking about why we wouldn't necessarily go back and undo the trauma of the people that we love. I appreciate that it wasn't super drawn out. While it's complex and emotional and deep, I appreciate that it wasn't just a drawn out, like I had said during the discussion earlier, like, until you're blue in the face, you can argue about it. It was kept simple in a way that wasn't devaluing, not acknowledging the people you love and what they went through. It was the awareness of your own capabilities and not wanting to play with fate too much and destiny too much. And I appreciate that it was kept so simple. Like, we're not going to guilt ourselves that we're not going to our girlfriend's place in the past, you know, and saving her.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
I just wish we got to see everyone, like, in their younger forms. I'm glad that we got to see Araragi. That was cute. I loved Shinobu's reaction to him. But, alright. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.